everybody? All right, if we can get quiet, keep our mouths quiet and listen, that would be great this morning. Welcome parents, family, friends, and TBK8 Tigers to our STEM Student of the Month Award Ceremony for the month of February. We are so happy and excited that you all could join us today as we celebrate our Tigers who have demonstrated the STEM trait of being a risk taker. In order to make this happen every month, we've got some key players here today that help us make all of this happen. Our biggest right here is Ms. Tuminella, who puts together all of the blurbs and everything else for you guys and gets all this organized. All of our guidance counselors are here to help. Ms. Kay, Ms. Knowles, Ms. Wonderly, who's the MC, you'll see her in a couple minutes, and Carmelita Bell, she's here as well. And then we've got some, teacher aides and some teachers in here to help us get all the kiddos here and get them here safe this morning. So thank you everybody for coming. This year our theme as a school is Leading Everyone in Growth Opportunities, the acronym for which is LEGO, because we believe that it takes everyone in the school community to learn and grow. We've utilized this theme in conjunction with our STEM traits. Each trait is represented by a LEGO figurine that exemplifies the STEM trait. February's STEM trait of being a risk taker is represented on the student certificate by a LEGO figurine representing the aerospace and aeronautic field. A risk taker is a person who is willing to do things that involve danger or risk in order to achieve a goal. An astronaut takes on one of the greatest risks by exploring a world that many are not brave enough to venture into. Whether it's rocketing through the atmosphere or stepping on the moon, astronauts are great risk takers. This is why they are represented on this month's STEM certificates. Today we honor all of our Tigers who have demonstrated their risk-taking skills at TBK8. Thank you all for being the models of bravery and always being willing to take a risk in your learning. I'd like to welcome Ms. Wonderly to the stage to MC the awards. Thank you, everybody. All right, good morning, everybody. So the way that this will work, boys and girls, you had two labels with your name on it. One was on your chair and one was loose. I need you, when Miss Kay and Miss Knowles bring you up on stage, to bring the one that is loose, so that what you do is she gets you up on stage and then you're going to hand it to me so I can make sure that I read the right information about you that your teacher wrote about you. And then after you walk across here, you're going to shake Miss Tuminella's hand. She gives you a few things. You're going to shake Miss Barone's hand. She gives you a few things. And then as each grade level, as you're announced, you wait, and then we're going to have an opportunity for pictures afterwards. And also Mr. McGregor, a shout out to him. Yes, he's standing on the table, but he's being very careful. This is the best way to get the video. You can also see this on Twitter, on YouTube, and forward it to friends and family near and far. All right, so let's get started with, yes, hold your applause until the end, please. So here comes pre-K. This is Nolan, and Nolan comes to school each day ready to get started. When encouraged to work in different areas of the classroom or with different friends, Nolan rises to the challenge. His creative ideas led to our very first class presentation about armadillos. Way to go, Nolan. And this is his mommy. He is constantly asking questions and exploring new things. He uses his imagination to share and attempt new ideas with confidence. He often thinks outside the box and loves to share with his class and teachers, no matter how silly his ideas may be. And these are our pre-K students. All right, if you are a pre-K
Okay, parent, of course you can come closer to get a picture. And kindergarten, I need you to stand with your name tag. And Ms. Knowles and Ms. Kay are going to help you get up on stage. All right, these are our kindergartners. Starting us off, we have Maria Pia. She came to our classroom with English as her second language. Since then, she has proven that she is not afraid to take risks and do her best in class. She is always one of the first students to raise her hand, answer questions, and participate in activities. Gabriella is a risk taker because she is not afraid to try new things. Elijah is a risk taker in class. He does not give up when given activities that are challenging. He works diligently and maintains a positive attitude. Amelie is a risk taker. She is willing to put herself out there and try new things. She comes up with her own ideas and approaches things in her own way. Tori was nominated by her classmates as our risk taker. They noted that she takes risks in school by answering questions and sharing her opinions without fear of being wrong. Kayla is our STEM Student of the Month because she is every bit of the word risk taker. She is always willing to try new things. She is not afraid to make mistakes in class and welcomes challenges. Azelle takes big risks every day when she comes to school. She is brave and works hard on her academics. She is learning to take school in her stride and is doing very well academically and socially. Paul is such a great leader and role model. He is not afraid to try new things and gives his best effort no matter what, which makes him a perfect example of a risk taker to represent our class. And these are our kindergarten students. You can come closer for a picture at this time. First grade, if you would stand with your name tag. Ms. Kay is going to get you up on stage. All right, moving on to second grade. We have Gwen who's starting us off in second grade. Gwen is always willing to take risks. Even if she isn't sure how it will turn out, she takes risks while learning and also when she is building and engineering. Jaylene is a model tiger. She takes risks every day, trying new things, sharing her thinking, and being a role model to others. Serene is not afraid to try new things. While she may be unsure of things, she is not afraid of the unknown. Whether it's learning English, making friends, or helping others in the classroom, she's always willing to try. Sammy is a risk taker because he faces each challenge without knowing the outcome. He takes on each task with strength and tries his best. When he doesn't succeed, he takes the risk again until he succeeds. Abigail is always willing to try something new and take a risk. Even when she does not succeed, she still keeps trying until she gets it right. Elise weighs her options and takes chances accordingly. She is willing to do things differently than her peers and justifies her reasons in doing so. Felicia Jessica is the first student to raise her hand and be willing to answer any questions I ask. She is not afraid of getting the answer wrong and loves to take a risk. She is the definition of a risk taker, and she encourages others to try and take a chance. Jordan is a great example of a risk taker in the classroom. He is never afraid to give things a try, and he always tries his best. He is a great leader for others to look up to. I'm happy to nominate Swar for being a risk taker. Swar is very brave and confident, and this is evident in class. When giving something new a try, he jumps right in, and his positive attitude and outlook on a new situation is a great example to others. And these are our first grade students of the month. Parents, family, and friends, go ahead and come closer for a picture at this time. And just so you are aware, we do have a few first graders that are going to scoot out because they have another presentation that they are a part of on lower campus. Okay, first grade, if you could do what you need to do so that we could continue on. All right, here comes second grade. This is Michael, who fondly is called Mikey, is the ultimate risk taker with his no fear attitude with learning new things. He is a joy in the classroom and is always ready to do anything and help his classmates. Noah is eager to contribute to class each day. We spend much of our time in second grade math introducing new concepts, and he openly shares his thought process as we explore. His willingness to think out loud and fail in front of others makes his fellow students more comfortable sharing. John is the perfect example of a risk taker. He is a student who is willing to do things and take a risk in order to achieve his learning goals. He's such a hard worker and loves to learn new things. He is such a positive student, and we are lucky to have him as part of our class family. Ahan is a brilliant young man with a thirst for knowledge. He demonstrates this in the risks he takes in the classroom. When answering questions to playing on instruments, he dares to be bold and learns from any mistake he may make. Jacob is a born leader. He is not afraid to try new things, give an answer, or help a friend in need. Thank you, Jacob, for always having enthusiasm for life and learning. Your courage is an inspiration. Leslie was voted by his peers for Student of the Month for Risk Taker. He is a wonderful student who is kind to every child in our classroom. He is well liked by all of his classmates and always comes to school with a smile on his face. He is a child who always works hard to complete his work and always wants to do his best. Jaden is never afraid to take on a challenge. She will try her hardest no matter how big or small the obstacle in front of her is. We are so lucky to have her in our class. Victor is always raising his hand to answer questions during classroom discussions. He never hesitates to try out the instruments or the movement. He gives his all during every music class. We are proud to nominate Peyton for February STEM Student of the Month. She is a new addition to our school, having just relocated from Maryland. On her very first day with us, she jumped right in and showed her willingness to contribute to class discussions and take a chance in sharing her thinking. Noah's confidence and the way he approaches learning is admirable. This year, he has grown to approach new learning with courage, explored new ideas and strategies, and been brave to defend his thinking and learning. He is a risk taker. Elle has been a risk taker all year with her positive attitude and determination. She always enjoys participating in class and shines the most when others may be too shy or unsure of themselves to ask questions. She has also offered to present her group project to class by herself when her partners were out sick. Her confidence and her love for reading has increased dramatically throughout the year, and she has enjoyed collecting the brag tags from the library. Ezekiel, you are always taking risks with your art. I love that you like to try something new or take your art to a new level by experimenting with different materials or ideas. You are going to go far with your art and are a great artist. And these are our second grade students. Parents, family, and friends, feel free to come closer for a picture. In third grade, if you would stand, bring your name tag and look to Miss Kay for directions. On to third grade. This is Malak, and she has progressed tremendously this school year. She is such a leader and very kind to others. She is never shy and always willing to speak up for others or be the spokesperson for the class in a positive way. Dean is a wonderful student to have in class. He is not afraid to try new things. He learns from lessons that lead to important life skills. Talon is a determined student who is always willing to think outside the box when it comes to tackling academic challenges in class. Hank is STEM Student of the Month for risk-taking. Hank is always willing to try new things. He isn't afraid to take a chance with new projects and has unique ideas. He's very focused on the task at hand. This is Anthony, and Anthony has been a risk taker from day one. He may not always know the answer, but he takes the risk to try and answer every time. Third grade can be tough, and he does his best to show his teachers and classmates that he can do it. Lucas is always willing to demonstrate the skill we are working on that day. He never shies away from a challenge. Keep up the great work, Lucas. Aser thrives off of taking risks. He is always thinking outside of the box and loves to take things to the next level of creativity. Keep being a risk taker. We know one day it's going to pay off in an awesome way. Manha truly represents the character trait of being a risk taker. She loves to solve complex problems and always has a creative solution. She digs deep into text to find answers and is always able to defend what she finds. Tiffany is a risk taker in many ways. She definitely marches to the beat of her own drum and does so with confidence. Tiffany also takes academic risks when solving problems in new and different ways. From voicing her thinking and opinions at Mac Bowl to conducting a psychological STEM fair experiment to public speaking, Zareen pushes herself to show the world a reflection of herself, even when it isn't incredibly comfortable for her to do so. Some people may find risk takers unsettling, but here at TBK8 we embrace them and their adventurous spirits. Risk takers are adventurers. They are always figuring out what may seem to be a different way, but they are always seen as a better way, and oftentimes the most fun way. Olivia is the quintessential risk taker. Not only is she a risk taker and an adventurer, but she has another admirable quality, which the French call, and I have no idea how to say this, teacher. So I have to look that up. As most risk takers are, Olivia is passionate about life and her adventures and loves to tell about them. We look forward to hearing about her adventures in the future. Layla is receiving the Student of the Month Award for a risk taker because she is never afraid to go for it. She does not allow the fear of being wrong to deter her from taking risks in math and science. Layla is very inquisitive and has the courage to try different strategies to solve problems, even if the strategy does not exactly lead to accurate solutions. Most importantly, she often learns from the effects or consequences of the risk that she takes. And these are our third grade Students of the Month. All right, parents, family, and friends, feel free to come closer for a picture at this time. And fourth grade, please stand with your name tag and look towards Miss Kay. She's going to help you get up on stage. Okay, fourth grade. This is Sophia. Sophia takes ownership of her education and understands the importance of taking risks in order to succeed. Her ambition and drive, both on and off the soccer field, is admirable. She gives 100% and will break down any barrier in her way. It truly takes a risk taker to be able to join a game of fourth grade soccer, which is often dominated by over-aggressive boys who have years of playing experience. And Jaden proudly stepped up to the challenge and played with no fear. Since that first game, she plays every chance she gets and has developed a love for the game, all because she took a chance and stepped out of her comfort zone and took a risk. Napoleon deserves our STEM Student of the Month Award for being a risk taker in physical education because he is always willing to help with skill demonstrations in front of his classmates. He comes to PE eager to try new exercises and activities and sports with a positive attitude and a smile on his face. Our class has chosen Richard to represent our class for the character trait risk taker. Richard is an out-of-the-box thinker who can use background knowledge and new learning to create things to help improve the classroom and his classmates' learning. He is not afraid of failure and uses these opportunities to better himself as a learner and always stays positive throughout the process. Pranav is a student who is so determined to gain knowledge about a subject that he is not worried about throwing his thoughts, right or wrong, out there on the subject. He is great about joining in a discussion about a topic with free thought. He comes to many accurate results when he shows his awesome skill of taking risks while exploring academic solutions. Aiden is a shining example of how taking risks within the safety of our classroom can lead to tremendous growth. He is not afraid to make mistakes because he knows mistakes are proof you are trying. Great job, Aiden. Delaney never sees any task as a challenge. She finds strategies to overcome any problem or solution that needs to be completed, even if it's tough. She tries new ideas through her classroom seesaw and gives her thoughts quietly when she can. And these are our 4th grade students of the month. Go ahead and come closer for a picture at this time. 5th grade, if you would take your name tags and stand and look to Ms. Kay, she's going to direct you on stage. All right, here comes 5th grade, and this is Riley. Riley is always willing to take the chance, even though it might come at a cost. She is not afraid to try something new. Ivana is an amazing addition to our class family. She is always taking the risk to think outside the box, to volunteer her thoughts, and to try even when she's not sure. Cooper is willing to offer his thoughts and ideas even when there is a risk that might not work out. He asks questions and is willing to be wrong when he isn't sure that he has had the correct answer. We're very proud of Cooper's hard work and how much he has learned this year. Carter continuously takes risks as he shares his ideas, thoughts, feelings, and explanations of academic questions. He does not let others inhibit his sharing. He takes risks in encouraging others, even if he's not sure of the response he will receive. All of these behaviors end up encouraging those around him. Many students in our class voted for Ian to be the STEM Student of the Month for Risk Taker. They wrote things like, Ian steps outside of his comfort zone when answering questions and reading. Ian does things I know he doesn't want to. I agree with these students, and Ian is definitely a risk taker. Kyla was nominated by her classmates as our risk taker because she raises her hand for challenging questions, even if she isn't 100% sure of the answer. She is an independent thinker who can come up with solutions to problems that others might not have thought of. She is very creative and often makes her own bookmarks for the many books she reads. Cole is a positive risk taker in class and in all subjects. He asks questions to clarify his understanding and shares thoughts and answers to questions when participating in discussion. Cole also took the risk of creating, judging, and monitoring our class kinetic sand building contest during recess every day. Kendall is always willing to put herself out there, even if she may be wrong. She is not afraid to try. She is a very successful girl as a result. She took initiative at the beginning of the year to start a class newspaper without any problem. She has been very consistent in seeing this, as well as many other ventures through. She is a true leader who inspires others to give their very best and brings such bright light into the rooms. Jonathan stands out as a risk taker because he is never afraid to share new ideas with the class, even if he is not sure if they are right. He is also open to trying new ways of doing things, which makes him a valuable collaborator in group activities. Sumanta is a very good artist, and I often notice him taking many risks with his artwork. He is not afraid of what others think. He just does it, and he does it well. And these are our 5th grade students of the month. 5th grade, parents, family, and friends, you may come closer for a picture. And 6th grade, go ahead and take your name tag and stand. Ms. Kay will direct you to the stage. Is the start of our middle school. These are our sixth graders. Sienna Daly accepts the challenge to participate in class discussion. She volunteers to share her thinking, often when others do not. She exudes confidence and she is not afraid to be wrong. She is also proactive in asking questions that others may be too afraid to ask. Brian is always willing to extend his thinking and ask insightful questions in science. He also volunteers to work through questions and his thinking instead of sitting back and waiting for answers to be given. Brian's willingness to take academic risks will ensure that he will always be a lifelong learner. Pranava is always willing to take on any challenge presented to him. Pranava also looks for non-conventional ways to solve problems. We look forward to working with him in years to come. Zayla is always willing to contribute to class discussions. She completes her calculations and is always ready to bravely say her answer. She shares her knowledge with her group confidently, and Zayla never allows fear to stop her from making a meaningful contribution to the class. Emmanuel is willing to try new things that involve risk when it comes to learning. He isn't afraid to achieve his goals. Joseph took a big risk this year by putting himself out there by trying out for the boys soccer team. And guess what? He made it. He's one of the sixth graders that made the team. Congratulations. Skylar is nominated for the Risk Taker Award because he is always willing to take a chance and answer any question. He is willing to try something new, even if it's outside his comfort zone. Skylar is always positive and works hard to complete all assignments. Merlin is a very active student in class. She participates in class discussions and is not afraid to correct herself when she is mistaken. She helps others in class and is an academic risk taker. Juliana is always ready to compete against anyone, anytime, anywhere. She is a very confident young lady that will not back down from competition, whether it be against boys or girls. She is a very tough kid. Aziz is a risk taker when it comes to his work in math. He always tries his best to get an answer, even when he is not quite sure how to approach a question. He risks being wrong and attempts problem solving. Anthony is always willing to try new ways to problem solve. He inspires others. Way to go, Anthony. Students choose an alternate direction she chose an alternate direction for her road maze that worked out and made it the best STEM project out of 3 classes. Way to go, Emily. And these are our 6th grade students. Parents, family, and friends, feel free to come closer for a picture. And 7th grade, if you would stand, and Ms. Kay will just give you directions. seventh graders. All right, starting us off, we have Cosby. And I have to tell you who wrote this, and when I read it, you'll understand why I told you. This is from Coach Dorosky, which is PE. Coach Dorosky says, "Here is a young man with a lot of upside. Cosby isn't afraid to push all of his chips to the center of the table. He has displayed time and time again why he has ice water in his veins." And so what that means is that he is one tough player out on the field. Anything competitive, he shows no mercy. So way to go, Cosby. Yelenise has been a risk taker since the first day of school. Even though she is not always certain of her answers in math class, she is always first to volunteer to share with the class. This is not something that comes easy for most seventh graders. She stands up for what's right, even if it means going against the popular decision. Way to go for being an independent, risk-taking young woman. Angel understands very well that you have to take risks in order to truly learn. Learning a new language can be a challenge at times, but his positive attitude and his risk-taking attributes are making this experience an easy and enjoyable one. Miguel is always willing to try new things and is never afraid to tackle the task at hand or a challenge that is handed to him. Endry is a risk taker because whenever he is unsure about a certain situation, he tries his best to solve it and understand. Endry only asks for assistance on an issue or assignment when he is truly lost. Akash is a fantastic student. He is never afraid to try, doesn't get upset when his work needs improvement, and is willing to start over when things don't work out correctly. He often encourages classmates and is willing to receive feedback and try again. Ina has earned the Student of the Month as risk taker. Her strong self-confidence allows her to take chances that others may miss, and even if she's wrong with her assumptions, she learns and grows from the experience. She exhibits bravery in frequently testing the waters and is successful most of the time. This girl is bound for greatness. Antoine is always ready to try anything that is put in front of him. He is willing to take on any task head on and will try his hardest to accomplish each task to the best of his ability. Gabriel always strives to be active in class. He is a consistent participant who does not mind having different views as compared to others. He has worked hard in his attempt to being back in school after his surgery with little desire to miss class. With a no-fear attitude, Gabriel does what is necessary to get the job done. And these are our seventh grade students of the month. Seventh grade parents, family, and friends, go ahead and come closer for a picture at this time. And eighth grade, if you would bring your name tags, and Miss Kay will direct you. Eighth graders. Starting us off is Haley. Haley is a one-of-a-kind student. She always has a positive attitude and is willing to try to be better. She is always the first to volunteer for any assignment or task, even without knowing what it is. She is involved in so many activities and clubs around the school and still manages to maintain excellent grades. Taylor is a creative student, always willing to try new things. Her enthusiasm spreads among students, and she enjoys sharing the adventure with others. Roshan's enthusiasm for learning inspires his classmates. He tackles new skills head on and is quick to volunteer. He isn't afraid to take risks during his learning process. Noor has definitely been a risk taker, and she takes risks, being someone who came to us not speaking very little English, and she takes risks every day in class learning English. While new to the class, Rebecca has been willing to put in extraordinary effort to acclimate herself to class and how things are done with the class. Doing this is often very difficult for new students and involves a degree of willingness to take a risk and do what is right for herself and not worry about what others may think of her or what she does. Lucian is an excellent student that is willing to work hard at new problems and persevere through them. He is willing to take risks and problem solve. He is a great example of a STEM student. Keep working hard and stay focused. Eric David is always quick to take a risk, raise his hand, and share his thoughts during classroom discussions. His imagination and in-depth comments about the readings come out in his ability to take a risk and share aloud. And these are our 8th grade students in March. All right, I know because there are some 8th grade parents, family, and friends out there. Come closer for a picture at this time. That's right, I said it. And I'm going to call Ms. Barone back to the stage, back to the mic.
Good morning, everybody. We are almost finished, students. You guys are doing a great job of sitting quietly. One thing we like to do every month is nominate some of our teachers and some of our members of our community here, so we can nominate them for being risk takers as well. So we're going to start with Miss Harrell. Miss Harrell is a stellar teacher who takes risks in her classroom every day. She helps encourage students to feel safe pushing the boundaries of what they know or think they know. Ms. Carroll's daily planning includes thinking outside of the box and pushing her students to do the same. Ms. Carroll and her students are partners in the learning process and continue to take risks every step of the way. Ms. Carroll, thank you for leading your students to take risks while learning. Congratulations. In intermediate, we have Mr. Strelachson. Mr. Strelachson displays risk-taker characteristics in how he works with his students. From flexible seating options to student-led discussions, Mr. Strelachson gives his students the tools they need to be risk-takers themselves. He encourages students to try out new things and is always willing to try new things in his classroom as well. Thank you, Mr. Strelachson, for showing us all how to take risks. And just so we can give we have 3 other people who are not with us this morning, but we just want to make an announcement of who they were. In middle school, it's Miss Gray, who earned the award for being a risk taker. On our leadership team, Ms. Craig Clark, who's not with us this morning, but she also earned being a risk taker. And for non-instructional, one of our custodians, Ms. Velez, was one of our risk takers as well. So thank you to everybody who came today. And we'll finish up with some more directions. Thank you.